Hello, you guys. Whoa, my hair is a mess. Hello, 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 everyone. I had just discovered, by the way, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Align, or not Align. Holy shit. Oh, what a morning. Untangled, episode 45. It's really good to be here with you guys. I just moved into a new house and I'm pretty darn sure that my office is slanted. I'm just realizing that I feel slightly slanted. Can you guys do me a favor and let me know if I look slanted to you in the picture? Do I look like I'm slightly slanted? And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's really good to be here with you guys. No, I don't look slanted. Okay. Okay, good. You do not know. I can't tell I have vertigo. You look perfect. Good morning. Hi, not the Tower of Pisa. Okay, good. Is there a metaphor for life? What's slanted? Like sideways. You're off center. Okay, well, I know I'm off center, but I swear I feel sideways. Oh yeah, I guess there's nothing to be able to tell. I do feel slanted. I feel sideways right now. I'm feeling very sideways. But anyway, let's just get into this. Yes, this is my new place, but there's nothing on the back wall yet. I don't know, what should I put on my back wall? I have no style and decoration. I don't know how to decorate houses. I don't know how to I don't have eye for anything um, at all. Like I have my girlfriend Kyla coming over and like picking out stuff for me. My book, plants, crystals, roses. I'm in Northern California. A picture of Feel Good. Oh yeah, could you imagine if I have just like pictures of like my friends in the background? Um, that's hilarious. What if it was just like Feel Good? Oh, you're an artist, dude. I would love let's see, what would I love? Like an angel. I love angels. Nature is always incredible. Rivers, oceans, um, dolphins. I painted the dolphin card for you. Oh, I loved that card. It was gorgeous. All right, well, I'm going to figure out what to do in my back wall. In the meantime, let's get into this. How do you like Northern California? I love where I live. I live right outside of San Francisco, and I really love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's extremely expensive to live here, but I really, really love it. I just spent 3 weeks in the suburbs of Chicago. God bless everybody that lives in Chicago area, but it's absurdly freezing. And it really made me appreciate where I live. Hi, Slovenia. Yeah, this area is I'm very, very grateful, very grateful. Sacred geometry would be cool. I live in Chicago. Heidi, my heart goes out to you. It's so cold. Anyway, how are you guys? Wales. Hello, Luke. It's good to have you here. Hi, Jocelyn. Love the Bay, but also can't wait to get out. So it's so expensive. You guys would die if you knew what I was paying for rent for this little tiny 2-bedroom. It's not even like a house. It's like a tiny, I don't even know what it is. But I moved because I was living in a place. I lived in an in-law unit for 3 years. Pretty much I moved in right before COVID and I just moved out last month. And it had it didn't have a kitchen really, like a full kitchen. It didn't have a full fridge. It didn't have a washer and dryer. It had one burner stove. The other one was broken, so it only was on high. It was like where I lived was like, Lori, what are you doing? This is insane. So I basically moved so that I could have like a normal place. What have my spirit guides said to me lately? It's interesting. I haven't really been communicating with higher dimensional beings or my guides for a while. I've been communicating with like honestly, I've been communicating with what I would consider the God within me. I've been communicating with myself. I haven't really been searching outward for guidance. Um, so it's been this deep, deep inward journey that I've been doing and realizing um, the power that there's this essence. I've shared this with you guys, but there's this essence or this tapping into um, what I would call God within myself, right? That I've been feeling more and more. And even yesterday when I was at the airport, it's a very subtle experience that I'm having. For a very long time, if you guys have been with me for a while, you know that I've connected to higher dimensional beings. My book came through from higher dimensional beings, which are just what you would call spirits or guides or whatever. I would say the last 6 months, it's been really quiet externally, and it's been really loud internally. The guidance has been internal. It's been my own voice, my own inner child, my own God spark that's like, "Hey, I'm right here. You've been safe this whole time. You're safe to go through everything." And it's a really different experience to start using your own internal compass as opposed to external. There's nothing wrong with the external voices and the external guides. They're amazing. They see the bigger picture, but so too does the God inside of you. And in fact, I would actually argue that the God inside of you, whatever you want to call it, soul, spirit, light, consciousness, source, whatever, it's inside of each and every one of us, which is so freaking insane to think about, right? Like that there's a hawk that just there's an amazing, amazing hawk that is literally sitting on a tree branch directly in front of me. I swear, looking straight into the window. I wish I could show you guys. There's no way you'll be able to. He's literally looking right at my window, probably 15 feet away. Wow. Um, talk about messengers, right? Um, I have there is this profound awareness that I've been stepping deeper and deeper into, which is that the God that we all are, right? The God that Jesus talked about, that Gandhi talked about. Thank you so much for the super chat, witchy kind of woman. You're always supporting me. I appreciate you so much. Um, this essence inside of us is so powerful because what it does is that it doesn't it grounds me deeper into the human experience. I feel like sometimes when I am connecting to the higher dimensional beings that are in higher realms, higher dimensional realms. There he goes. He just left. Um, it can feel very uh, out of body. It can feel very um, disjointed in a way on many levels. And so as I have been going deeper inside my own beingness, um, and accessing this like quantum field within my own body, it's been grounding me deeper into the human experience, grounding me deeper into pain and the beauty of pain, grounding me deeper into relationship and the beauty of relationship, grounding me deeper into addictions and attachments and the beauty of the addictions and attachments, grounding me deeper into connection, human connection, grounding me deeper into just the human experience. Because I think that the more that we awaken, okay, the more that the lights turn on inside of us and we realize what's happening in the world, and we realize that we are not this world and that there is so much corruption and chaos and whatever is happening out there, as well as out there in the multiverses. The more that we do that, the more, in my opinion, the more in awe we should be of the human experience, right? Um, the more we should be present with what is right here, right now. That's the master. That's the cosmic joke. Is we're all kind of searching for something outside of ourselves to lift ourselves out of the pain and suffering of the human journey. And the most profound aha moment is, wow, it is the pain and suffering of the human experience that is the miracle. You know, it is the contrast that is the miracle. It is the yes, no, right, wrong, good, bad, pain, joy that is the miracle. And there is no mistake that we are in this human experience, in this physical reality. We're not in this physical reality to get out of this physical reality. We're not in the pain and the sorrow and the love and the joy and the peace and the laughter and all of that in order to conquer it. You know, pull ourselves into only states that are the greatest states to feel. Um, we're here to awaken out of the dream or the illusion that we're any of this, right? That you are the pain, that you are the relationships, that you are, you know, the body, that you're any of that. And I think that is why the deeper you go in, the faster you'll break free. Breaking free just means I can stand in this. I can walk out into chaos. I can walk inside my house in chaos. And I can move through it with my breath and with my body and with my eyes wide open, feeling it all, knowing that I'm not any of it. And so my external guides have been real quiet. They're just kind of watching me right now. We're being watched by higher dimensional light beings, which are also consciousness and God, an aspect of ourselves. You know, they're all parts of us. We're parts of them. We're all part of the same one stream of consciousness, right? The knowledge of that, the mind of that is easy to understand, but the beingness of it is a completely different thing, right? If you actually understood from an embodied state that there is this stream of consciousness that goes through everything. Thank you so much, Miss Brazamoni, for the super chat. It's really, really sweet of you. Thank you, thank you. We would be very different in this world. Thank you for the super chat, Melena. We would treat each other much differently, much differently. We would devour life. We would devour life, you know. How many of us, myself included, runs from life, runs from experiences, is afraid of things, afraid to feel, afraid to see, afraid to hear. You know, one of the things, you guys know this, but one of the things that I'm always saying out loud by Bridget, activation. One of the things that I'm always saying out loud is, show me what I need to see, show me what I need to feel, show me what I need to hear. Always, show me. Show me, show me, show me. Show me, show me, show me how you do that. What's that song? How do you sing it? Show me, show me, show me how. How does the song go? How do the lyrics go? All right, what should we talk about? What questions do you have? What's coming up for you guys? I didn't even do any announcements. I gave no announcements today. I'm going to be in Miami May 20th. Tickets are down below. I'm going to be in Toronto May 24th. Tickets are down below. I'm going to be in Dublin, Ireland, September 17th for a one-day workshop. How do you do that trick? The one that makes me scream, she says, the one that makes me laugh. Is that how it goes? Do all humans have a soul? I believe they do. Haven't spoken to my in-laws because they were being nasty. It's been 6 weeks and it's good for me. I know, but I have a lot of anxiety. Why if it's good for me? Well, I don't think anything is necessarily so good for you, maybe perhaps it is the word you would use because it feels like you're taking care of yourself, right? Um, I think when we do things that are taking care of ourselves, holding firm boundaries, not letting people say mean things, not being in contact with people that are saying rude things to us or mean things to us, not respecting us, blah blah blah. It's important to be able to step away, you know. But we've been in such deep contracts with many family members and partners that there can be anxiety when you are finally being true to yourself. Am I really safe to be me? Am I really safe to say what I really want to say? Am I safe to truly express myself? Am I going to be alone? Are these people going to be out of my life forever? Right. So the anxiety is the needing to know what's going to come in the future. Right. Typically, anxiety is trying to predict a future. Right. And so we all have lots of us experience anxiety. My go-to is, can you observe yourself experiencing anxiety instead of being the anxiety, being the anxiousness, right? How do you tell the difference between a soul connection and attachment in relationships? They could be the same. I mean, you could have a soul connection and have an attachment in that relationship, you know? Um, I guess we need to define what a soul connection is, you know? Promise you I'll run away with you. There it is. And run away with you. Ooh. I didn't know you were here from Chicago. Cold sucks. Yeah. Sam, insecurity is coming up for me. I was a bullied, abused kid, learned to not be open. Now I feel unable to be closed anymore, and that feels unsafe. Hmm. How can you know the difference between a trauma bond and a twin flame? Oof. Go watch my video on twin flames that I did here on Untangled. You know, how do you deal with the judgment that arises after oversharing way too much? I'm assuming that it's the judgment that you're having for yourself that's being vulnerable, right? And vulnerability is very difficult for a lot of people. Lars, thank you, my friend, for that super chatting. Really grateful. Um, be aware of the judgment that you're having about yourself. Just be aware. If there's one thing you can do throughout your day, it's be aware. I'm aware of what I'm thinking, I'm aware of what I'm feeling, I'm aware of what I'm hearing, I'm aware. If you start just becoming aware, it sets you free. It's truly that simple. Yeah, they can be the same. Judgment from others, attacking just for being oneself. That's giving you good practice for continuing to be who you are. When people judge you, we know this, right? We hear this all the time, but it's really not about you, right? People that judge other people, including ourselves that judge other people, um, are just triggered by something internally within themselves. Most of us can't really be fully all of who we are, you know. There are still parts of us that we are insecure about or that we don't want to share with others or we don't believe are worthy to be seen. There's all kinds of tiny little aspects of ourselves that we don't perhaps fully accept. And so when we go out into the world, There is this natural tendency to judge others, and it's any judgment that we have for others is a trigger that there is something within ourselves that we still haven't fully um, wrapped our arms around. If there was absolute acceptance of you, there you would most likely rarely go out into the world and judge others. If you've ever noticed that when you're in a really good mood or when things are really going good in your life, you're in love or you got this great job or just things are going really well, it's rare that you'll find yourself kind of really beating other people up or judging other people. Right? Somehow like life is just great and people are amazing and you're smiling at everyone. That reality is always there, right? But when things don't go so great, when you're struggling, when you are going through things, when maybe when you are experiencing some sort of deep healing, or I don't know what it is, or you're just not wanting to be in what you're in, there could be a tendency when you go out into the world to judge a little bit more other people. Just be aware of it, right? I don't think there's, I think judgment is part of the human experience and the human condition. It's just being aware of that, the judgment over and over and over again, that awareness of judging others, the awareness of judging yourself. Um, Eventually, perhaps humanity will find themselves in a place where they truly are no longer judging others. Judging is very different than, having an opinion about something. Not doing it the same way. Just because somebody does something in a way that you wouldn't doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion about that. Right? Oh, I'm just gonna accept that everyone can do whatever they want. Like, yeah, people can do whatever they want, but if you don't agree with someone, you don't agree with someone. If you wouldn't live your life the way they're living your life, you wouldn't live your life the way they're living your life. But to judge somebody means that they're wrong. And that this is a really difficult conversation to have on many levels because there's a scale, right? I think we could all probably say that if somebody hurts an animal or a child or something that, that's not right. So there is that judgment, but it's also not right, So, but to bring it back to like just our everyday life, judgments have been something that I've been really, really acutely aware of lately. How I judge, when I judge, what I'm judging, especially if you're in relationships, right? You're living with people, living with family, you're living with friends, you're living with your partner. Just being aware of that judgment. What's the outcome, end goal of being aware? There isn't a goal. There isn't an end to being aware. Being aware is the practice of being present. And being present is the practice of uh, being in life, being fully present in life. Not in the past, not in the future, but truly present in what is right here, right now. And being aware breaks you out of the illusion. It breaks you free from the illusion that you are your emotions, that you are your trauma, that you are your thoughts, that you are your relationships, that you're any of it. The more that you are aware of every moment of your day, you will begin to see what you believe yourself to be. And the more that you can see what you believe yourself to be, the more you will realize that you are not that. But first, you have to be aware of what you believe yourself to be. So if you're feeling emotions and you're angry and upset for having those emotions, then you're attaching to the emotions. You're believing that you are the emotion, that if you feel anger, there is something wrong with you. If you feel anxiety, there's something wrong with you. That is you believing that you're anxiety. If you are attached to only wanting to feel happiness, then you are believing that you have to feel happy to be okay. So you're attaching yourself to happiness, right? if you believe that you have to be in peace, right? Or that you shouldn't be feeling insecurity, that insecurity is wrong or bad, then you're attaching to insecurity, which means that you believe that you are insecurity or unworthiness. When you become aware, when you start observing yourself in the experience of insecurity, when you start observing yourself in anger, when you start observing yourself feeling sadness or peace, you start to click yourself out of being the experience. You start having an experience. You start watching yourself in the experience. And you start realizing, holy shit, I am not the insecurity. Wow, I am not the emotion. I'm experiencing it, but I'm not it. And these tiny little shifts that you start having throughout your day, a million times over, eventually brings you into the awareness of who are you? Who are you beyond what you think you've always been, the emotions and thoughts and behaviors, the beliefs? Who are you? You start realizing that there isn't actually anything wrong with presence right here, right now, what's arising. How could there be anything wrong with what is arising if it's arising? Everything is arising. Everything is being felt and seen and heard by you so that you can start to recognize over and over and over again what you believe yourself to be so that you can break free. Breaking free just means, holy shit, I can go through all of this realizing that I'm none of it. Jesus. Wow. Okay. What ends up happening is you stop running from life. You start running towards life. You start putting your hands up and saying, bring me more. I know I'm not any of it. Show me more. What else do I believe myself to be? What other emotions am I afraid to feel? Everything that you are afraid to experience and afraid to feel and are trying to change and get out of is still you and I imprisoned or disempowered. We're here to be in this human experience, in the physical reality, in the illusion of contrast, right? Duality, opposites. In this lifetime, to finally wake up out of the illusion, to finally be God in form, as human, as a personality, as a self-identified human. Lori Ladd, Paige Ravenwood. Who are we? Who are you? I believe that we are aspects of what I would call God, light, consciousness. And when I feel into it, when I experience it in my body, it feels like bliss, peace, calm. And it doesn't, the experience of it does not need to be felt only if things are okay in the world or things are okay in my life. It is always here, right now. It's right here, right now, you know? And there's a lot of like, there's all these sayings that we say, but to actually start living it, to actually start living, being, embodying these knowingness is a whole other game. How often are you watching your thoughts? Or how often are your thoughts carrying you? Having trouble feeling happiness and joy, a lot of sadness, confusion, and fear within the mind, overwhelm, Tina. Yeah, so the practice in that is to simply be aware. It's if we are searching for happiness, if we're searching for something, then we are denying the present moment. And if you're denying the present moment, um, you're going to be in a state of efforting or running from what is. And life is not designed to be in an efforting or running away from, right? So you're feeling sadness. Yes, you are. Confusion. Yep. Fear. Yep. Can you be in awe of it? Can you be aware of it? Can you watch it? Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't, but it's the practice of it. Have your guides showed you any upcoming events on the world stage? Mm-mm. No, but I haven't watched. I mean, everything's collapsing. The whole world out there is going to collapse, meaning that all of the systems that we live in will eventually, in some other now moment down the road, um, be pulled apart, broken down. It's just part of the evolution. It's part of the human experience's evolution, right? The planetary evolution. So the world that we live in now will be significantly different in 100 years. 20 years? I don't know. 15 years? I don't know. But it will be significantly different in the best way possible. The humanity is slowly creeping, crawling, gripping its way through very, very dense or um, systems that have been controlling the human mind for a very long time. But we have to also simultaneously free ourselves from our own mind, right? So there are two things happening right now in the human experience on the planet. We are breaking free from mind control out there, which is happening on every level, from the external world, the government, the medical, the banking, the educational these all these systems have been controlling the human mind. Whether you want to believe that or not, or you think you're controlled or not, you're controlled. And then we are breaking free within our own minds. We're breaking free of what we have believed ourselves to be inside. Those are two things that are absolutes in this human experience right now. And most likely, those are two things that you are currently experiencing. And if you are constantly blaming the external for what's happening with you, if you're constantly pointing the finger out there, what's wrong out there, what's wrong out there, what we need to change out there, what we need to fix out there, that it's all these external people's systems problems, there's going to be a very rude awakening when your internal world gets louder and louder, because this has to be a simultaneous dance, an interwoven dance between the external awakening and the internal awakening, which means that no matter what's happening out there, you have got to learn how to free yourself inside. Thank you, Jenny, so much for the super chat. Uh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of experiences of all of us wanting to do more for humanity, but we have to free ourselves. Right? And what does it feel like to free yourselves in your mind? Well, your thoughts are no longer controlling you. How do you do that? Well, you have to be aware of thought. Your emotions, you're no longer running from emotions. The way they control you out there is through thought and emotion, fear. And then they tell you what to think and do and be. Okay. And they do that through the emotion of fear. They inundate us with fear. They tell us what to think. They tell us how to be, what to do. And sure, there's so many of us that are slowly waking up out of that. But it's a very deep, deep mind controlled state that we're still in. And so if you can be free, if you understand that you're not your thoughts, and you understand that emotion isn't you and you don't have to run from it, think about this for a second. How can they control you? They can't. If you know you're not thought and you're not afraid of any emotion, they are not going to be able to control you. When humanity finally goes back in such a deep way that they break free inside, there's nothing the external world can do any longer to control them. So whether these systems out there break down or not, whether AI comes in and just takes over, right? And creates this alternate reality that is messed up, or, the banking systems collapse. Um, there's this, one world government that unravels. If all of these things that people are talking about happen, and you are simultaneously free within your own mind and your own emotional states, while you are choosing how to be in that, you'll be free. You'll be you will be changing the world on a level that you won't be able to comprehend right now. We don't change the world, in my opinion, by fighting against. We change the world by realizing how thought and emotion has been controlling us, and how we have been programmed to believe we're thought and emotion. Break free from that, you'll change the whole world. Stand in every emotion that arises within you, and you'll change the whole world. Allow every thought to move through you, and you'll change the whole world. That's how we're going to do it. They can't get you if you're free in your own state of being. If they know that you don't believe your thought any longer, and they know that you can stand in any emotional state, they will no longer have control over you. I've gotten no updates from the IRS. It's so weird, Angie, that you're asking, because my accountant yesterday sent me an email and she said, Lori, have you gotten your letter from the IRS? For those of you that don't know, in the United States, we have a system in the government. I think it's in the government, called the IRS. It's where we pay all our taxes, and they will audit people, many people, thousands of people every year, because they like to make sure that we're in control, being controlled. Anywho, side note, I got audited in December for 2 years, and 2020, 2021. And anyway, we finally got everything in, I guess a month and a half ago. No, a month ago? Little over a month ago, and we should have heard something by now, and I haven't received anything. I swear, I swear, I swear, I am praying that somehow it's just my name and my file got lost in the system somewhere. Like, I've just disappeared from the IRS's auditing system. Um, no news is good news. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just praying for a miracle of some sort, but whatever. It is what it is, right? Yeah. They want a cashless society. Listen, I have been in the awareness of the New World Order and this one world government since the 80s, since I was 9 years old, 10 years old. I've known that there is a New World Order that has and will continue to uh, play out. Right? It's this chess game that we're in. Um, and I think the power in being in this moment right now on the planet, truly. truly, truly, truly is to break free from the illusion, break free from the mind. I thought for a very long time that it was about fighting these systems out there. And I thought for a very long time it was about sitting and getting as much information as I possibly could about what was going to unravel next. And and there's a beauty in that. And there's a power in that, I guess, in some way. But I believe that the most empowered way through this, whether there becomes a cashless society, whether there's this, one world government that takes over, which basically there already is a one world government. It just looks like there's, 100 different governments. It's all one government. It has been for quite some time. I mean, the New World Order has been in place for quite some time. But for to me, it's becoming whole and aligned, free and safe in my world so that I can emanate that and shine that out to every single other human that I come in contact with. I think that's how we break free. Oh my God, I love that you're visualizing my file completely disappearing. I love it. It's so good. Yes. The file is gone. Who's Lori Ladd? Don't even know. It was all one big dream. One big dream. We are in the midst of the biggest astrological cycle shift consciously known. Really? Give me more genie vibes. I don't know anything about what's going on astrologically. I wanna know more. Hi, Matthew McGuire. So much love to you. What is the astrological cycle that we're in? Share it, please. I literally saw it disappear into another dimension. Yes. Listen, I have no problem paying taxes. I pay taxes every year. It's just when they come after me for no freaking reason. I have a little problem with that. What else, you guys? Kind of calm this morning. Any tips on fueling self-validation? My mom taught me at a very young age, Brianna. What does self-validation mean? I'm not exactly sure. Check out Pam Gregory, end of 2024. Things start looking up some. Agree somewhat, but if a person is forced to stand in a pile of poop all day, it is hard not to smell it. Not that I worry about me, just sick of the created suffering and wonder the point to be here. I hear you. It's not fun standing in poop all day. It's not. There's a lot of suffering on the planet. There's a lot of suffering on the planet. How to set loving boundaries, like really how to do it. Okay, one of the ways, Sarah, Leah, that I set firm boundaries is that, first of all, it's not about the other person. Okay, so I take full responsibility. Like, feel into this. Okay, there's a feeling of this isn't about the other person doing something to me. This is about me realizing what I need to do for myself. So when you come from that place first, then there's not this aggressive, reactive, um, boundary setting type of thing. You need to do this and you need to stop doing this and you can't stop saying these things, or I can't hang out with you right now, or I need you to stop calling me, or like there's an aggression, right? When we make it about the other person. But when we stand in our truth, right? We really start learning boundaries. Trying to read your loving boundaries. It's like, what do I need? What do I need right now? What am I asking myself? Okay, well, when this person is constantly in my life and they're constantly um, trying to put me down, or they're trying to make me feel bad, or gaslight me, or whatever that is, right? It's you taking care of you. So when you respond to them, which most people, if you're having to set boundaries with people, then they're not necessarily going to lovingly accept the boundaries you're setting. Okay. They may push even harder. They may even gaslight you more. They may make you feel even worse. They may completely try to hurt you by walking away and being like, fine, I'll never talk to you. This is what you want, right? So being aware of that, just being aware of the reaction or response this person may have, you do it anyway, and you do it from a state of compassion. Compassion for yourself, compassion for the fact that the other person may or may not hear these boundaries, compassion for the fact that you may have to say these boundaries 10 times before the person gets it, compassion for the fact that you may be angry with that person because they're not getting it, right? But trying to come from a place of compassion, that it's about you, what you need. And this is for any kind of, back and forth that you have with someone. It's really, really difficult when we are in these conflicts and we're constantly blaming the other person. It's not that the other person isn't doing something or creating this back and forth between you, but it's about you taking full, 1000% full responsibility for what you're in, how you're being in it, and what you need. And if you set firm, compassionate boundaries from a state of this is what I need, take it or leave it, and they can't take it, then that's on them, right? But we want to practice it from a state of compassion. How to go with the flow in romantic relationships. That's a hard one. When you are in a romantic relationship, there's a desire for a commitment. There's a desire for uh, knowing what you're in, having a solid foundation, um, having some sort of future expectation, perhaps, of what will be with you guys, where you're going, right? And I think the greatest practice of flow is if you're in a relationship and you are in presence in that relationship. What that means is, if you're in presence in a relationship, what that means is that you are simultaneously allowing yourself to experience whatever's arising. So if you're completely falling for the person in the now, then you express that. Okay. Um, if you are, if in the now moment you are not enjoying yourself, you're expressing that. Okay. And you start to become aware of how, and most of us do this when we are in relationship, we're not in presence, we're in the future. What does this mean? Is this the one? Where is this going? Are we going to be together forever? What's going to happen in a month? What's right? We are always, are we going to get through this hurdle we're in? There's always this future, right? See, this future. Relationships are the greatest teachers of presence, and probably one of the most challenging experiences to be in absolute presence, because most of us have so much trauma from relationships that we're afraid to just be present and trust presence. But if you're in a relationship, the greatest gift is to be present. And if you're present, you're going to show yourself what you're actually feeling. You're going to show yourself what's the truest expression in that relationship. And what screws up so many relationships is looking into the future or looking into the past. What's happened in the past, so it's going to happen now. That's not true. What's going to happen now is going to happen now, based on right here, right now. I got to figure out what's going to happen in the future with us so that I can feel safe and secure, to know where I'm going, to know if I can open my heart, to know if I can be vulnerable. I need this person to tell me they love me. I need this person to tell me, that we have a future together. I need all of these things in order to open up, in order to be vulnerable. How do I know this is the one? None of that matters. What matters is the presence right here, right now. That's a flow state, one of the most difficult states to be in when you're in a relationship. It is what it is. It's okay. Just be aware of that. I'm acutely aware of the absolute, almost impossibility of presence and flow in relationship, in romantic relationships, romantic relationships. We have been so deeply programmed to be in the past and the future when we're in relationships. We're so afraid to just be present. We don't trust presence in relationships. That's why so many of us, myself included, we need to know this person's going to be here. We need to know that they love us. We need to know that there's a future we're building. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, in any way, shape, or form. It's just not presence and flow, which is okay. Almost impossible, I think. Just the awareness of that is the power. That's all. Thank you so much, Wind Rider, for the super chat. Presence is presentarian is what is right here, right now. So right here, right now, I'm speaking on this microphone onto a YouTube channel live. What's right here, right now? I'm still doing that. What's right here, right now in presence? Oh, I have a headache because I drink too much coffee. Now what's here? I think I'm kind of hungry. Okay, now what's present, right? It's what is right here, that's presence. What's right now, presence. And the way that you can bring yourself into presence is breath. Why are we usually not in presence? Because we're in mind. Mind is not presence. If we're in the mind, we're thinking, 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 thinking. And usually if we're thinking, we're in a future or a past. We're trying to figure something out. We're stuck in something. We're lost in something. There's stories that are taking us. We're not present. Present is void of following a thought, right? So it's when you are in, when thought is taking you, you're not in presence. When an emotion is taking you, you're not present. When you're present, you're just allowing the emotion to arise. You're aware of the emotion. Wow, I'm feeling this. Wow, I'm feeling this. Wow, this thought just came in. Wow, this thought, that's present. Awareness is you, the you that's beyond or behind the one that thinks you're doing something. So awareness, or the observer, observing, is watching what's arising. So Terry Ann, what are you doing right now? What's happening right here, right now? What are you feeling right now? What are you aware of right now? I'm aware that I'm staring outside my window. I'm aware that it's 9:53 and I got to get off because I have a line class I'm doing, right? Many times, the more that you bring yourself into presence, which is, where's my breath? Boom, I'm in presence. What am I feeling right here, right now? Presence actually starts dissolving thought, dissolves emotion. All of a sudden, there's nothing to grab. You're like, holy cow. Flow state, right? The flow state is allowing whatever is arising to be okay. And then what's next? Trusting so deeply in the now, trusting so deeply in what's arising right now, no matter what it is. Okay, an argument all of a sudden erupts between you and your husband. That's the flow state. So now you're moving through that argument. Now what's arising? This desire to look for a new job an hour later. Okay, that's what's arising. Now what's arising? I'm going to go make dinner. Now what's arising? I'm thinking about my child that's sick in college. Okay, now what's arising? Right? The flow state is just, you're going down the river and you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing. You're hitting rocks, you're having emotions you don't like. There's thoughts that are freaking so loud, there's physical pain, whatever's happening. Presence and flow does not mean that life is bells and like rainbows and unicorns. That's not presence and flow. Presence is just what is now, and flow is I'm moving through whatever it is. I trust it so deeply. It's not too late to join my meditation class, and I do have to get going. So I quickly want to share. Thank you guys so much for being here. I have a 21-day um, class right now that's going. I think we're on day 7. God, you guys, what day are we on? I think we're on day 7. And it's a 21-day practice, 21 days of sitting together for 30 minutes. And we are talking about this, but we do a practice together, 15 to 20 minutes of practice. We sit in stillness and awareness. We do pointers. It's powerful. I've done this. I did this in February, and I'm doing it again. It's called Align 2.0. It's 10 a.m. California time every day. We started on the 26th, and we are ending on May 16th. You can join at any time. The replays are unlimited. Like, you have lifetime access to the replays. The link is down below. It's incredible. I teach it because it's the one thing that I absolutely believe so deeply in, and I'll keep teaching it. So if you're curious, tap the link down below. Join us today for day 7. The theme today is going to be thoughts. We're really going to bring the spotlight to thoughts. And the whole purpose of Align 2.0 and the practice is to break ourselves free, to be able to no longer be in a state of suffering. Suffering is not wanting to be in what you're in. It's the human is in a so many humans are in a constant state of suffering, which is this hamster wheel. I have to get out of, I have to get out of, I have to get out of, I have to get out of. And when you truly break free from that repetitive pattern of I have to get out of, I have to get out of, I do not like, I do not like, I do not like, what ends up happening is you find peace and calm in whatever you're going through. And when you start finding peace and calm, and no matter what you're going through shifts. You stop living in this controlled way that the world has told you. Thank you for the super chat artistic designs. You stop living in the way that the world is telling us to live, which is you better change this emotion, you better change this thought. Listen, if they can keep telling you to change emotions and change thoughts and control your mind and control your emotions, you're not going to be in an empowered state. They're still going to be able to control you. If they can continue to convince you that you have to change emotions and change thoughts, what that means is that they are keeping you in the idea, in the belief that you are the emotions, so you better change them, and you are the thoughts, so you better change the thoughts. The moment humanity begins to realize they are not thoughts and emotions, they cannot be told what to do, they cannot be told what to feel, and they can go through anything. They become the most badass warrior and warrioress on the battlefield of this human journey. Nothing scares you, nothing frightens you, you don't run from anything. You don't hide from anything. You are standing in this human journey so empowered, so open, so receptive, so ready, sovereign, free. And then life really begins to become magical. And that's why I'm doing this Align 2.0, is to awaken us back into that natural state that we're here to be. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you next week for Align, or not Align, Untangled, episode 46, 9 a.m. California time. And if you want to join us in Align, we're on day 7. We're going to start in 2 minutes. And if you're not joining us live, you can still join. Link is down below, Align 2.0. I'll see you guys soon. Lots of love. Mwah.